Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So there have been some developments in the Jussie Smollett case, and I just want to take out time right now to discuss some of these developments. So I'm going to share my screen with you all. Just bear with me a second. All right, so as you see here, Jussie Smollett has been charged with disorderly conduct for filing a false police report in the attack. And you all know the situation, but those of you who have been living under a rock, I'll summarize it. So you had a situation where Jussie Smollett claimed that he was attacked. He claims that he was going out to go to a restaurant at 2 in the morning and that these two guys attacked him and used racial slurs and anti-gay slurs as well while they were attacking him. Also, he claims that at some point later, he looked down and he saw that a noose was around his neck. This man continued to keep the noose around his neck. 45 minutes after the incident occurred, the police came there and he told them his story. When this incident first happened, as I have talked about before, he did not immediately report it to the security within his building. He did not immediately contact the police. He was reluctant to contact the police. And when he contacted the police, he told them that he was on the phone with his manager at the time when this incident happened. But yet he was reluctant to turn over his phone records. And then eventually, after being put under pressure to do so, he released his phone records, but they were highly redacted. And, you know, there was video cameras everywhere in the area, as I have pointed out before, but there was no video footage of this alleged attack. There was footage of two people walking down the street. And Jussie Smollett was asked about these people, if he recognized these people, if these were, in fact, the people who attacked him. And he said that he had no doubt in his mind that those were the people who attacked him. The images did not show the faces of these people. It's very important also to point out that he alleged that he was attacked by some white people, some white racists. And then after his initial talk with the police, he later added that during this attack, they said, you're in MAGA country, which means Make America Great Again country, alleging that these people are, people that support Donald Trump. Another thing that's important to note is that weeks before this attack took place, a threatening letter was sent to Fox, Fox Studios or whatever, where the show Empire is recorded. They use cutout letters and all that kind of stuff. And later there were some more developments. So two suspects were initially arrested and they were released. These two suspects turned out to be Nigerian men who were brothers who actually know Jussie Smollett. And these people were released after they said that it was Jussie Smollett's idea to stage this attack. They also said that Jussie Smollett was upset because this letter that he allegedly received didn't receive a lot of attention in the press. There had been reports that Jussie Smollett perhaps staged this whole thing because there were reports that he was going to be written off of Empire. Fox denied those reports. They denied that his character was being written off. But those are the reports. So you had a situation where you had these two Nigerians who know Jussie Smollett. One of them follows him on Twitter. They follow each other or whatever. They know each other. In fact, one of these bodyguards, or well, bodybuilders, they're not bodyguards, but bodybuilders, these Nigerian bodybuilders actually worked as an extra on Empire. So it's a suspect situation. And now the police have raised the stakes. They have charged this man with disorderly conduct for filing a false police report. And I'm just going to go through some of the excerpts in this article. It says that prosecutors in Cook County said that Smollett was charged on Wednesday, 3 weeks after he told police that he was assaulted on a street near his home. He was charged with disorderly conduct, a class 4 felony that carries a potential sentence of 1 to 3 years in prison and substantial fines. This was hours right after he was officially classified as a suspect in a criminal investigation by the Chicago police. And then it says that detectives will make contact with his legal team to negotiate a reasonable surrender for his arrest. And then his attorneys made some statement about like how any other citizen, this guy enjoys the presumption of innocence. So they highlighted that. And for those of you who want more information, I encourage you all to check out my other videos on this subject. One thing that I have to highlight again is, I don't take any delight in this situation, but I have to stress the fact that when I first heard this story, I thought it was suspicious from day one for all the reasons that I spell out in my prior videos, which I won't reiterate here. But it just reminds me of that time, for instance, when I think his name is Little Bootsy. His daughter was celebrating him being released from prison because a lot of people said he wouldn't be released. And then she kept saying, once she found out that he was actually released, she kept saying, I told y'all niggas, Bootsy's coming home today. And that's how I feel about this case, man. I feel like, it's a vindication of what I have been saying. It's a vindication of my suspicions. I voiced these suspicions and people thought I was being insensitive. People thought I was, taking exception to this situation simply because he's a homosexual, as if I was just like showing bias because he's a homosexual, when that's not the case. It was just a situation where the facts just didn't add up. So for that reason, I questioned the entire story because it made no logical sense. But, in order to silence people like myself, they ran this guilt trip on people and stuff like that. But the truth is being revealed. And now this matter will go before a court of law, and the court will decide, after reviewing all the evidence, whether or not this guy completely fabricated this whole thing, made this false report, staged this whole incident in order to win over sympathy. The courts will decide this. They're saying that he possibly staged a letter as well, like that was something that he used to try to get attention, and then that didn't get enough attention. So he took it to the next level by engaging in this activity right here. So I'm going to also show you another story before I get into my commentary and before I look at your comments. This other story is from TMZ, and they talked about how after this whole issue has been raised about whether or not he staged this attack, Empire has cut some of his scenes. It says that Jussie was supposed to have 9 scenes in a big musical number in the second to last episode, but 5 of the scenes have been cut out, and his musical number has been cut out as well. And it says that his case was headed to a grand jury on Tuesday. That was in that article, and now we know that he's been formally charged with filing a false police report. And they say that a bond hearing has been set for Thursday at 1:30. Let's see if there are any other points that need to be highlighted before I move on to your comments. And again, as I said in my last one, I watched his interview on ABC's Good Morning America. It seemed to be like a horrible job of acting, like he was trying to, he was overly dramatic, melodramatic and all that kind of stuff during that interview. At some points he's laughing, at other points he's crying. He just didn't come off as credible. He came off like a joke to me. And I would show a little humorous video that somebody posted on Facebook, but I don't want to deal with copyright issues. So here, this goes into some more detail. It says that Smollett's initial status as a crime victim began to shift last week after police arrested and interviewed two brothers who were originally identified as suspects after turning up in surveillance footage. The brothers told detectives that Smollett, who employed one of them as a personal trainer, paid them to stage the assault. The search warrant for their residence also turned up a receipt for the rope that was placed around Smollett's neck. And then they say the police had submitted a request for a follow-up interview with Smollett. And they said that the attorneys attended the meeting, but the actor did not. And they say that he stands a chance of not only losing his career, but being ordered to pay restitution to compensate the Chicago police to cover the cost of their investigation. I mean, this stuff is very important because here the police are in a city like Chicago where you got all this crime going on, all this violence going on, and police resources are being diverted to investigate some fake made up BS. That could have cost somebody their life or whatever. People, police being in one location where they could have been investigating some real actual crimes and stuff. So yeah, that's crazy. And I'm going to get into that in the commentary in a minute. And they're saying that it could be charged as a misdemeanor or a felony. I doubt that he's going to actually serve time. He'll probably get some probation or something like that. But it's just a shame. Like, you had all these celebrities rallying behind this guy. You had civil rights groups speak out on his behalf and stuff like that, giving him the benefit of the doubt. And it turns out this guy just completely made this story up. And that's what I'm going to go with. Like, I know that it has to go to a trial, but more likely than not, as I said before, this guy made this whole thing up. And the thing is, like, what is his motivation? Like, I was just talking to my brother about this a few minutes ago. Like, I just wondered, like, if that, the whole issue dealing with the Empire show was really his motivation, or if it was something else, if he's mentally ill. I don't understand, like, why he would go through all this trouble to make up a false report. But I also heard some reports in the news that this isn't his first time making a false report to the police or giving false information to the police. Like, one time he was arrested for, driving under the influence. And instead of giving the authorities his real name, he gave them his brother's name and stuff like that. So this is not his first time lying to authorities. And they said that he's already lawyered up. He has, some defense attorneys that are representing him, some prominent defense attorneys. And it also says the FBI is investigating him as well, investigating whether or not he had any role in that threatening letter that was sent to Fox's Chicago studio. Yeah, you had all these people coming out and supporting him. You had Kamala Harris, for instance, saying that this was some modern day lynching and all that kind of stuff. Cory Booker and all this coming out speaking on his behalf. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I know that they probably assumed that what he was saying was correct. They had no reason to disbelieve him, I guess. But my common sense would not allow me to jump on that bandwagon and start doing videos in support of this guy or like making some statement, because the whole thing just didn't make any sense. Again, it's 2 a.m. Some guys just happen to be walking around with a noose and bleach. And then I saw some memes on Facebook where they said, like, all these white people in Chicago and you're going to hire 2 Nigerians to do it. I mean, it's just like, it looks like one of those episodes of that, those reality shows where they talk about dumb criminals. That's what this looks like to me, man. And, what's her name? Kamala Harris came out hard in his support. And then now she's like, I'm going to reserve judgment. And somebody asked her about this, and, she was speechless for a second. She was completely caught off guard, after going all out on a limb for this guy. I mean, this guy should be ashamed of himself for presenting this false report, man. He should be ashamed of himself. Like, in this era where you actually have real hate crimes going on against people, this guy's going to cook up this fake ass story. And the conservatives are going to just run with this stuff. They're going to run with it and make it seem like racism is not real because of this fool. This guy is an embarrassment to the black race, man. So now this is going to undermine legitimate claims. Somebody's beaten by some Klansman or something like that, or some white supremacist. They're going to say, hold up, we got to scrutinize this heavily, and maybe a fake story and stuff like that. So it does the community a disservice. This is a crime not only against, the people of Chicago. This is a crime against the black community, man. This is a crime against the gay community too. Because here you had this guy lying, just making up a story, trivializing actual hate crime by making up this fake ass story about being attacked. It's a disgrace, man. And, I think that all false claims should be prosecuted. He should be prosecuted for this. He should face some kind of accountability for wasting police resources and for just making this false claim. There have to be real consequences to deter this kind of activity. Now, some people have said, well, this shouldn't be our cause or whatever. We shouldn't be concerned about him making this false report. And they kind of like try to say, compare him to other situations and stuff like that. And they want to, again, like try to paint him as some kind of victim in some kind of way. And, my whole response to that is to hell with that, man. To hell with that. He is not a victim. This man knew what he was doing. He knew that he was making a false report. He got all these people to rally behind him and stuff like that. This man needs to be held accountable. And there was a civil rights group that I saw a video clip of who did a press conference saying that he should be held accountable. And he should be. And I heard even Al Sharpton, somebody that has a record of supporting somebody like a Tawana Brawley, somebody that made up a fake ass hate crime story. Even he said, that Jussie Smollett should be held accountable if this situation turns out to be a staged act or whatever. He should be held accountable. And I agree with that. And, I'm not one of these people that say because, there's a double standard in society, black people shouldn't be held accountable. To hell with that. I think that all people need to be prosecuted for making fake claims to the authorities. That includes these racist white people that make fake claims against black people, like that white woman who lied on Emma Till, got that brother killed, lied on him, not only to her family and stuff like that, but lied to the authorities on the stand about this situation involving Emmett Till, resulting in that brother being beaten beyond recognition. That woman, from what I understand, she's still alive. There were some reports not too long ago where she acknowledged that she lied or whatever. She should be punished for that. And I know that there's statute of limitations, and I'm not sure about the law in that particular area, like how long the statute of limitation goes, but people like that need to be held accountable. Those people that called the police on those brothers in a Starbucks, they should be held accountable for making some false claims against those brothers. Calling the police just because some brothers are chilling in a Starbucks, trying to handle some business. There should be charges against that woman that called the police because some black people were having a barbecue. There should be charges against these people that call the police on a brother for mowing his own lawn or mowing other people's lawn. There have been situations where a brother is canvassing in a white neighborhood for a political candidate, and they call the police on that brother. There should be some kind of penalty for doing that. Some kind of penalty for wasting police resources. There should be a penalty for that white woman that called the police on a black girl who was simply trying to sell water. So I think that it should go, there should be universal justice, man. Universal punishment, not just punishment reserved for black people. This punishment shouldn't just be reserved for a person like Jussie Smollett. All these people that present false claims to the police should be punished. And Congress needs to pass some kind of law dealing with this situation where you had these people reporting these false claims on black people, trying to get people hemmed up by the police because they got some racist issues dealing with black people. So those people need to be punished too. So yeah, I just wanted to get on here and just air this out, man. It's just a shame, man. I was really hoping that I was wrong, despite me saying, well, I told y'all. I still felt like I hoped that I was wrong. Like I hope that this actually was a hate crime, as bad as that sounds, because this is going to set us back like years now. It's going to set race relations back years now. It's going to set back the LGBT community back. It's going to set them back years. Because I'm sure those people on Fox News are having a field day. I've seen little tweets from that woman, Candace Owen, having a field day over this stuff. And I'm sure that the statements made by those politicians in support of this guy are going to come back to haunt them during the campaign. This can have a real impact on things that really matter, man. That's why I'm talking about it, man. And, also this should be a cautionary tale for us here on YouTube, man, not to jump on these bandwagons before we know all the facts, before we have all the information, and to look at things critically. People that are like these race hustlers that love to just, gin up hysteria and jump on the hottest issue dealing with some kind of race thing. They're being exposed by things like this, man. We have to thoroughly invest, of course we're not, reporters that can go out of, just travel and go and have some formal investigation. But it's like we need to thoroughly read things, sit back and take a deep breath before we get on here and just, make positions known and stuff without getting all the facts and stuff. Because now a lot of people have egg on their face now, like these prominent civil rights groups that came out here championing him. They don't look good right now. These individuals that, all these celebrities that came out in his support, they don't look so good right now, even though I understand that it's not their fault, but it's a bad look all around. So let's see what people are saying. Lakeisha Thomas said, kudos to you for sticking your ground, staying on your ground or whatever, sticking to your ground. She said she had suspicions too and was criticized by friends. Yeah, a lot of people like came. They were criticizing me. Like they were like, "What? Why are you saying that this is not real? That it's fake and stuff?" People send me messages and stuff like that on Facebook, and they were just like they just couldn't understand why I didn't agree with the story, why I didn't just take it at face value. I tried to explain it. I broke down all the reasons why, but a lot of people just respond on emotion, man. They hear this guy talking about he's been attacked, and then he does these like this emotional performance during, one of his little concerts, and then doing that interview and stuff like that. People feel all sympathetic toward him. They identify with him and stuff like that. So they stop thinking and they just go with the popular narrative. Yeah, so Lakeisha said that he shouldn't do any jail time because there's so many white people that have done little to no jail time after making all these false reports. And I think that that's a valid point. I think they're more likely than not he's not going to do any jail time. He may get probation, but I do believe that he should be punished. There should be punishment for making these false claims. There should be some kind of deterrent to prevent people from making these false claims. Yeah, L Pride, you're right. I mean, what happens is black people are judged as a collective. Like black people will be judged based on this guy's actions. And that's unfortunate. Instead of him just being judged as an individual who made bad decisions, people are gonna look at it as if all black people were responsible for this. Yeah, so I mean, all of those are legitimate questions that you raised. Like somebody said that there was this white woman who rubbed acid on her face and said a black woman did it. And I'm not sure about that. I don't know like what actually happened in that situation, but that's a good, a good point. If these people can make these false claims, they should be prosecuted too. You have situations where a woman killed her own children or whatever, blamed it on a black man. I mean, you hear this all the time. You got these cases where these white women accuse black men of rape all the time. And I've seen some of those cases be prosecuted, but all these false claims need to be prosecuted. But I'm not one of these people that say, well, he should get away with something because white people got away with it. I'm not one of these people that follow that kind of train of logic. I think that all people need to be punished for what they do. All people need to be equally held accountable for their wrongdoing. I'm not one of these people that say, well, because these white celebrities got away with abusing girls, then R. Kelly should have his way with black women and girls. I'm not one of those people that follow that train of logic. Yeah, so someone said that when it biracial, I don't even know if he's biracial or not. So I won't talk about that. Somebody said I don't think they're Nigerian. I think they're American. I mean, according to all the reports, they're Nigerian. Like everything is said that they're Nigerian. All the news reports that I've seen said those brothers are Nigerian. So I don't know why you're saying you think they're American. Um, Yeah, I wonder that too. Like, why would he do this? That's the $1 million question. Like, why would he do this? I don't think it's disingenuous. I mean, I think the charge is appropriate, man. This guy made up this fake ass story, had all these people emotionally wrapped up in it. Wasted all those police resources. It's not trivial. I think that he should be punished for this. And the punishment can take various forms. I don't think that he necessarily needs to go to jail. I don't think that that needs to happen. I mean, he can do community service, as people have pointed out here. He could do probation, but there has to be some kind of punishment for this. And it may be a psychological issue, as someone pointed, as Kendra pointed out here. It may be some kind of problem. Yeah, I don't know why this keeps repeating the same message over and over again. Yeah, if somebody can tell me how you turn off these notifications from Google Chrome, like that's why I'm, like I'll be in the middle of doing a video and they keep popping up. So if somebody in the comment section can let me know how to deal with that. Shout out to Simpin. I see you in the comment section. Oh, I see. Some people are saying like they may be Nigerian American. I'm not sure. But it's like, man, if you're gonna stage a fake hate crime, like why would you pick two Nigerian guys, man? I mean, just help me understand that, man. Just bear with me a second. The comments bounce around. Hold on one second. Yeah, I don't want him to harm himself either, man. I just hope that he gets the help that he needs, like counseling. He needs some kind of help. But he should be held accountable as well. I mean, yeah, I agree that those brothers in that Starbucks should have sued. Yeah, they settled for $1 or something. I don't know if there was more to it. I don't know all the details of that settlement, but yeah, they should have sued. Yeah, so L. Pryor said that I read his story and it just seemed to be over exaggerated to me. All it was missing was a white pointed hood. Exactly, man. I mean, it was so crazy, man. He threw in the mega thing, he threw in a noose, and he had that letter. Man, it's just crazy, man. I mean, who's walking around at 2 in the morning in cold ass Chicago weather with a noose and some bleach waiting to harass this random gay guy? And how would they know if he was going to be out at 2 in the morning? Shout out to Elaine Lloyd. Let's see. Yeah, I wonder what will happen to his career too, Kendra. Like after this whole situation. Oh, somebody said he is biracial. Okay. Yeah, but I don't think that has anything. But I hear what y'all are saying. Like you're saying that when biracial people do great things, they're commended. But then when they something bad happens, they're painted as black and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, he literally did throw his brother under the bus that first time when he presented a false information, telling them that he was his brother instead of, giving them his actual name. Yeah, so I just wanted to to let you all, know about this update in the situation. So those of you who are watching the playback, please let me know what you think about this case. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Please like the video, share the video, hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content. And also, I want to remind people that you can support this channel with your donations by hitting the super chat or by hitting me up on PayPal. The link should be in my channel description on my main page. So if you go there, you can support this channel. As you all know, YouTube has been cracking down on advertisements and all that kind of stuff. So it's difficult to get revenue. But I appreciate any support you can provide, just your moral support just by watching. That's even, the greater reward. So I want to thank you all for your support. And I look forward to the next live stream that I'm going to do. Again, before I go, I just want to remind people that my challenge to those ADOS people is still open. So with that, I want to say peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Good night.